to the era of AI. Hello there and welcome. In this lecture right here, I'm going to introduce you to the GPT store and explain to you how you can basically create and utilize GPTs inside of the GPT store. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So here, if I were to click on Explore GPTs, I could go ahead and create some GPTs right now, as well as I could use some GPTs. So for instance, we have a lot of useful GPTs. And by the way, what exactly are GPTs? And let's try to explain this, not in a rush, because you need to understand what GPTs are, what they do. So at the beginning, when ChatGPT first came out, it was GPT 3.5. Then we moved to GPT 4, and GPT 4 could generate images. Not at the beginning. It could not generate images at that moment, but it had abilities such as browsing the web. It could get you real information from the internet, from using Microsoft Bing. It could really do advanced stuff such as advanced data analyses and so on and so forth. And then they introduced the image creation, the ability to create images. And at that time, around that time, there was the introduction of plugins. So there was such a thing as ChatGPT plugins. And these plugins developed into what we see today, into what we see as GPTs or the GPT store. They're nothing but plugins. So for example, here we have Khan Academy. So Khan Academy is a popular website. It's a popular website where people can go and learn, okay? And so basically what they did, they said, okay, ChatGPT gets a lot of traffic. Why do we not create an app, almost like an app, it's a plugin, and plug ourselves, our website, into the ChatGPT ecosystem? Because there's a lot of people using ChatGPT, and so we can't lose on that much traffic. We can benefit a lot if people go to ChatGPT and see our name there, Khan Academy. It's free advertising, basically. So what they did is, okay, let's create as many GPTs. And so a lot of companies, even if I scroll down here, you'll notice that even Canva, they have their own GPT here. So big companies, they started to influx and create a lot of GPTs. These GPTs are connected to the ChatGPT API or OpenAI API, as well as the API of that other company, and they are intertwined together, right? So it's almost like a symbiosis or relationship between both platforms, a link. It's like a link, okay? And so now, if you want to learn, for example, from Khan Academy, you can click on this extension or plugin, and you can start to chat, and you can chat directly with Khan Academy, right? So for instance, here, I could say, give me 10 practice exercises or practice problems. That's a conversation starter. So it starts a conversation with Khan Academy. So let's say I'm interested in math. I just type that in, and it's already pre-programmed to ask me certain questions, such as what do you want, addition, subtraction, multiplication. So if I said multiplication, if I were to go ahead and hit enter, what's going to happen is it's going to show me some multiplication problems, such as 7 multiplied by 6, which is basically about 43. All right, so as you can see, pretty much, this is what this tool is all about. It's actually not 43, by the way, it's 42, but this is what these GPTs are for. So if I go back and click on Explore GPTs, and if I were to go, let's say I wanted to create, I wanted to create a game, or I wanted to, generate a logo, right? Here, there are some GPTs that are definitely created for the whole purpose to create logos for you, to write for you, to help you with Excel, to help you create presentations in a second, And in our case, let's say that we want to create designs, right? T-shirt designs. You can just search for design. And here you can see a lot of design GPTs here, right? A lot of GPTs that create designs. If I click T-shirt, or if I search for T-shirt, definitely you'll find some people that have already created GPTs targeted at that. And if you click on this one, for example, this one can generate vector T-shirt designs, right? And if I click on it, you can either upload a T-shirt design or describe your ideal T-shirt design. So for example, if I were to go and say T-shirt design featuring a lion and a tiger as friends, and I could describe it more, the description is incredibly important. And as you can see right now, Well, let me click to see where this is going to take us, because normally they should be able to generate GPTs for us. They should be able to generate logos for us without giving us this response. So, okay, so let me exit this. I think this GPT is not really done correctly. But if I want to create logos, I just have to look for logos. And there's a lot of logo GPTs, like this one, logo creator. And if I click start a chat, I can actually use this GPT to generate a logo. For example, here, make me an app icon for an RPG adventure game, right? And it's going to go ahead and it's going to start generating. So here, do you want the logo to be vibrant? Da, 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 da. So yeah, I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to say A, and I'm going to just enter. It's probably going to ask me some other questions as well. So here I'm going to say, stop asking, just generate. Because it was programmed to ask me questions in order for it to make sure that I provide as much detail as possible to get the most satisfaction out of my logo. But if you just ask it right away, oh, come on, just generate a dummy logo, it will generate just a dummy logo, right? It will not stress it that much. So as you can see right here, it's pretty much generating right now. And we can go ahead and have a look at this. So you can see this looks like a pretty decent logo for this particular type of game. And if you want to rate the GPT, you can rate it because it's just like an app. And this helps people that created this GPT to actually get more visibility on their GPTs. If you want more GPTs, you can find more GPTs. There's a lot of GPTs, and it depends on what you want to do. You want to create coloring pages. If you want to create a presentation using PowerPoints, if you want to create a PDF or slides or Excel file, or do some Excel stuff, or use Wolfram, for example, to solve some difficult math equations, and so on and so forth, or create some diagrams, or take a YouTube video like with this GPT and turn it into bullets to basically generate a summary of that YouTube video, and so on and so forth. I personally have created a lot of GPTs, 34 to be precise, and some of them, for example, this one, startup logo, I can always click on it. It can generate logos. This one can generate ads, right? This one can generate a fitness coaching program. This one can help you make decisions. This one can help you write podcast scripts, and so on and so on and so forth. So I've generated a bunch of GPTs over time, and you can see that there's a lot of GPTs around here. Now, for a second, if you want to create a GPT, you can just click on the create button, in which case it's going to get started, and we can go ahead and start creating this particular GPT. So the only thing it's required from you is to type in whatever you want the GPT to do, and you can program it with text. If you want a more advanced GPT to be connected to a specific API, click on configure from here. And by the way, you can always edit your name, the name of the GPT in the description and the instructions here. You can also edit the conversation starters and choose whether you want the GPT to have the web browsing capability or be able to generate images. But you can certainly click on create action, and you can basically add an API over here if you're interested to connect to a specific API for more advanced GPTs. In my case, I'm not interested in creating an API or anything of that. I just simply want to create a GPT that can generate t-shirt designs. So here I'm going to say, I want to create a GPT that can create t-shirt designs. And now it's going to take in my command, because it's a command, and it's going to analyze that prompt. And right now it's going to suggest a t-shirt design or a name for my GPT. It says t-shirt design guru. That sounds like a pretty good name. I'm going to say that sounds good. If I say that sounds good, it's going to suggest a logo that goes along with my brand, right? So for instance, it's generating a profile picture that would go with the name. And because I said yes to the name, you will find that normally your name will be right here. You can see it here, automatic. Now the logo, I didn't like it so much. I don't think it's representative. I say the logo is not good at all. Make the message clear. Because you want people to see the GPT and you want them to understand immediately what that GPT is all about by just looking at the logo. That's what a logo is for. A logo is nothing more than message. It's a message. It's a message that you convey through a GPT. So you can see that right now, this makes perfect sense. This looks promising. So now you can program your GPT. Notice that for a second, if I go to configure, it has chosen these conversation starters by default, which I can eliminate. I can add a conversation starter by clicking here and adding a conversation starter. For example, let's say I want to ask them a question. Well, can you, or what type of t-shirt or design. And I can give them a suggestion, vintage, minimalist, etc. For example, or 3D, etc., etc. And as you can see there. And basically, if I go to the create button right here, you can even upload images if you want, if you think that images or PDFs or something would help you program your GPT. Or you can just simply use text, such as saying, I want you to ask 4 of the most important questions about design creation before designing, right? Before designing. And I'm going to say, make it simple and only ask those questions. Ask those questions. And I could actually honestly say, and later on, just generate the design after you get the details and be flexible. Okay. And if I hit enter, this also programs it. What does it program it to? It programs it to ask questions instead of just generating a t-shirt right away. It programs it to make sure that whenever I ask it, I want to generate a t-shirt design, that it asks me a couple of questions right before. And these questions should be related to what type of design I want to create. Now, if you're interested to publish this to the GPT store, to make it available for everybody to use, you can click on the create button right here, in which case it's going to take you right here. Click on the GPT store, tick the box, and then you can make sure that you select a specific category. This falls in the category of DALL-E, image generation, because ChatGPT uses DALL-E to generate images. It's a model. It's an image generation model. And if you save it, it's going to save that to the GPT store, and people can actually be able to use this. And if you're lucky enough, your GPT will be used by millions or thousands. Okay, so it says unable to publish GPT. Must be there's some technical issue here. Let me try it again. If it doesn't work the second time, I'm just going to refresh the page and try it again. Okay, let me just wait a second. All right, so now the GPT is published. If you want to view your GPT, click here. You can also copy the link and share it with LinkedIn, your LinkedIn network. You can share it online on Facebook. You can also advertise it if you want to. And the good thing about GPTs is that they rank in search engines. So if you go to search engines and search for such a thing as AI content detector, for example, or logo creator, if you scroll enough, you will find that some of the GPTs are ranking on search engines. And this is going to be incredible in the future, because these GPTs can rank on search engines, but if someone makes it at the top of the search engine, they would no longer need a website. They would no longer need all the complex elements. They could get millions of visits to their GPT just by the simple fact of them ranking high enough in the SERPs. So here, and SERPs means search engine results page. So here, if I just ask a question, I want again, let's say with the, Western, I want you to design a Western t-shirt design. And you can provide more information, such as if you want the design to be circular, what do you want, the style. Here, because we programmed it to ask questions, it is now asking about the theme. Do you want there to be cowboys? I can write 1. I can say cowboy. I can say horses. I can say hats. I can say cacti. I can say sunsets. I can add all of those. And then, number 2, the style. The style is vintage or modern or cartoonish. I'm going to go for vintage, okay? And then 3, another choice. Would you like any text or phrases on the t-shirt? Yes, I'd like to add the word cowboys with double Z. Number 4, colors. What colors would you like to? Do you want to specify any colors? I'm actually going to say no. Right, no, none. Or I'm not really going to answer that, because I'm just going to leave it with the freedom to particularly generate the logo. So here, as you can see, it is currently creating the image. Not only that, it gave you the very prompt that you can also use on another software, and this will lead us to reverse engineering later. And this, as you can see, is a description of what it did. So I said generate a design about cowboys with double Z. Well, it didn't add the Z or 2 Zs. Now I can just click on this design right here. And with the editor that we have there, I can click on this selector, and I can actually select this Z, and I can select this space as well. And I can say, you missed an extra Z. Other than that, it's perfect. It's a pretty good design for befitting for a cowboy t-shirt design. And as you can see right there, it's basically generating the design for us. All I got to do is to wait a second for it to generate that design for us. There you have it. Now, again, it did not quite add the Z, which, to be honest, I cannot do anything more than this. So I'm just going to be content with the design as it is. But the design as it is looks great, right? So it looks pretty good. And other people as well, they can find your GPT and they can use it. So if I go to explore GPTs right here, if I type in exactly t-shirt design, right, design guru, it's going to show me my GPT. There it is. So if I click over here, there's my GPT. Now, of course, it was just created, so it doesn't have ratings. It doesn't have people that have used it, but it's really amazing, right? So hopefully that you've enjoyed this lecture so far. I'll see you in the next lecture, in which we're going to talk about the 6 prompt engineering strategies as well as reverse prompting. Stay tuned for that.